Paul, I know we don't like to dwell and actually don't know what numbers in particular you tend to look at, and maybe we can discuss that in a moment or two, but there was a stat going around the other night that on Wednesday it was Derby's highest XG in 4 years. When you don't get a result, as you didn't on Wednesday, what do you sort of look at to take encouragement from?
Yeah, good question. I take encouragement from a lot, and then hard on myself a lot. So I think I'm pleased with the lads' character to start poorly collectively and then to come back. So I take, not that that's a stat, it's just a feeling on the side of the pitch. I know roughly, you can tell obviously by the noise of the stadium as well. I'm not like deaf. But I can tell when the lads are playing well, and that I've had my eyes shut, but I can see it, I can feel it. So I'm not a massive stat man, but I do also, the little things that I like are how many times we have touches in the opposition box, because, you know, and how many times you have attempts on goal from the opposition's box, and how many times you concede chances in your box. They're the things that I like. So, for example, I think we conceded maybe 2 attempts inside the box, which they scored from, and we probably had, I know we had 18, but realistically we probably had 4 or 5. So in that instance, I think we did quite well. So I'm pleased on that. I'm just frustrated that we wasted, you know, a small portion of the start of the game, which ended up being final to the result. Really, that's my disappointment. But then I leave the ground, and I said it at the time, and I know everything I say is Marmite at times, but I was really proud how the lads played. They were a bit more on the front foot, a bit more aggressive, a bit more touch tight, and that's how I like my teams to play. So yeah, so I'm not bothered about possession. That's absolute bore off. That was a stat from 5 years ago that someone got a job for finding. And then, but I do like touches in the opposition boxes, and I do, obviously, because I watch the game back for the entirety. I just like to see if, you know, we're creating problems.
How often do you change your opinion? We often talk to you about watch it back. What did you say? Do you often sort of change your opinion watching it back?
Yeah, quite a bit, which is poor in it for a coach. You would think that I would see it exactly as it is. The thing is
it because the emotion comes out of it? Maybe?
Yeah, a little bit, and you forget things. Maybe that's my age, but you forget things quite quickly because you want to. So, for example, if a chance happened and you missed it, like I wouldn't, if you said to me straight away, right, we had 18 attempts on goal, could you name your best 10? I couldn't in that moment. But, and also when you're at the side of the pitch, you have this, you're low down, you see bodies, it's a different sport on the side, excuse me. So if you have a season ticket in your front row, and then you go to the back row, it's like 2 different sports. So when I watch the game back, it's from the back row. So the whole picture is greater, so I can see, you know, things differently when I watch it back. But also sometimes, and this is well, a weakness of probably all humanity, you remember the last sort of things of each half. So when you go in, like if, for example, we finish the half well in football, crowds cheer. If you finish it poorly and you just conceded, there's a good chance your fans will boo at half time. The previous 43 minutes, you could have been the best team in the world. So it's very easy to remember just the last few minutes around it, so how you end the game and all that. But I watch the games back all the time, and sometimes I think, like, I weren't convinced of his performance tonight. Individual, I thought he played poorly. Then I watch it back and think, actually, he done better than what I thought. And it's very difficult at times to be objective all the time on what you see and not like have bias and, you know, opinion. Like some fans will turn up to a game and think, I love this player, he can do no wrong, and equally that player is horrific, he can't do anything right, and obviously neither's true. So I try and watch it back in a neutral state. I'm not emotional, just watch it like they're not my players, and then I'm a bit more, I think, a bit more objective on my outcomes and how we see the next game going.
You faced Sheffield Wednesday as often as any other club as a manager. The last time was the final day of the 2022-23 season. How much did that one sting for?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, really. I'm a big believer in positive thinking, and you know, what sort of happens to you is what you think is going to happen to you, if that makes sense. I've always been really upbeat on my mindset, and I honestly believe that season that we would go up. And I honestly thought if we got into the playoffs, the dressing room I had were the personalities that would thrive in that environment. So when we went to the Sheffield Wednesday game, I had, and I'm glad I had no doubt, because that meant I slept the night before. Went in that game with no doubt. Really, the lads were brilliant training that week, were fully focused, and sometimes you just get a feel that you can't put into words. You just get, this is going to be something good, and we're on the edge of something amazing. And then the way the game panned out, and that's how football is, and that's why everyone likes it, and that's why everyone turns up, because you just don't know what you're going to get. So, yeah, that stung, and obviously I remember driving home, and it felt like a home game, because I can get home quicker than I can from Derby, or ironically probably even from Rotherham. So, so it stung big time. But then weirdly it ignites your whole, right, let's change what we think we need to change in the summer. What can we possibly do to try and, with our remit, what can we possibly do to improve the team and make him a force in League One? So we've had some good battles over the years, and obviously the COVID games and all that. And obviously I know a lot of Sheffield Wednesday fans.
And a couple of the players as well, and obviously a lot has changed there since you last faced them. What do you make of the job that Danny Roll's doing?
Yeah, I've been really impressed, as everybody has, as their fans have. I've watched them play live, I think 4 times this year, and they sing the manager's name if they're win, losing or drawing. So they're a really knowledgeable fan base, and they're really impressed with him. So that's probably the best way I can talk about how well he's done. They've made a couple of really good signings, and they're just sort of strengthened up. I think they're just a bit more athletic than they were previously, which causes problems in every league, but even more so in this league. So I think they've played really well. I only saw them play live last week. I saw them play live against Norwich. I saw them play live against Cardiff. So I've seen a lot of them this year, and I'm well aware of a lot of their threats. A couple, obviously, I've got relationships with. A couple of them I've tried to sign on 3 different occasions. So I'm well aware of their squad and the strength of their squad, and the enormity of the game for ours.